it's going by too rapidly for the conscious mind to discern it. Another technical means in the visual is just simply candlelight differences. I used to give lectures where I would have a projector projecting on a white screen the overheads from what I was talking about. And this obviously predates the laptop days and our PowerPoint presentations. But with the old overhead projected up there, I would also have another projector projecting underneath it. And by that I mean it would be slightly under the candle watt power. Think of it this way. In a lighted room, when I flash a flashlight on the wall, depending on the brilliance of the flashlight, I may or may not see it at all. Turn the light off and I suddenly do see it. Well, we know from research that you discriminate that, or you fail to discriminate it consciously, but you do process it unconsciously. So with a lower candle watt power, I would have 3 numbers that were up all the time that I was lecturing. And then at the end of the lecture, I would have sheets passed out and ask people in the audience to choose one of 5 alternatives to what those 3 numbers could be. Invariably, the scores would be very high. 75-80% of the audience would correctly identify the 3 numbers that were behind me, but they'd been looking at them for an hour just subliminally. Okay, now where audio is concerned, what you're really dealing with is something more like an audio illusion. If you think of your Sunday papers, at least I hope you have Sunday papers of this kind. Maybe children just have these puzzles in your schools in Sweden. But in America, we often get a Sunday paper that will have a contest. And the contest may say, count the hidden faces on this page. Or count the hidden fish. Now, when you start looking for them, you see them. But until you're really looking, and until somebody maybe even identifies it, you fail to see it. It just is a part of the background. Well, those kinds of things are what we do in audio. I learned a long, long time ago that you can't take audio and just bury it in the background. You're sound engineers, obviously. You have your own radio show. So you know that if what I did was just take an audio message and bury it on the floor, say maybe 30, 40 dB beneath the primary carrier, as one company reported in their reports to me, they were targeted by an attorney general, and then they asked me if I could assist them with some evidence, and their sound engineer sent me an affidavit that said they mixed their subliminal at 40 dB beneath the primary carrier. Okay, now if you think about that, the theoretical limit of a stereo system, the ghetto blasters that young people walk around, most people buy and put in their homes today, these portable sound systems, they're typically around 30 dB.
Yeah.
So if you're 40 dB beneath the primary carrier, you may as well sent the content to China and decided to listen to it in the UK.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing just simply doesn't work. If you try to get it closer and you begin then to maybe mix some sounds to hide it, you end up with another possible problem. Maybe you take a word like confidence and you lose the back end of it, and you end up with a word like con because it's dipping in and out. So what we ended up doing is we devised a device that would simply take the audio information and convert it to electrical signals. So here comes the music or the nature sounds, and we convert it to an electrical signal. Here comes the voice, the affirmations, the statements. We convert that to an electrical signal. We lock those 2 electrical signals together at a ratio that we desire. We send one set of messages to the left hemisphere. That set of messages are permissive, forward messages that say it's okay to be good. It's okay to enjoy life. Now, the reason they say that is because if the message says, I am good, you're quite likely with your left brain to say, yeah, sure, good at what? Do you remember when? Because our subconscious is constantly talking back to us.
Right.
So, so what we have to do is tell that left brain where all those defense mechanisms are, we have to tell it it's okay to be good. Because it can't really argue with it. And while we do that, we simultaneously tell the right hemisphere, I am good, and we do that by reversing it, so we're delivering reverse speech to the right hemisphere. Okay, now, with that said, we run dozens and dozens of double-blind studies now. They've been run in a number of countries. They've been run in Germany, in the United Kingdom, in Mexico, and the United States. Independent researchers, major universities in a number of different domains, and we have found that this application of audio does indeed alter self-talk, does indeed change people's behavior in every area that we've researched, from attention deficit hyperactive disorder to, just stress, a number of different modalities. Now, by way of the general field, on my research website, progressiveawareness.org, there are over 1,200 citations of solid pieces of research that show we process subliminal information through a number of different senses in a number of different ways. Mm-hmm. One new research study indeed shows that we can take a nauseous smell. In this particular study, they took a objectionable smell of sweat. They diluted that smell to where participants were unable to distinguish it from just a neutral water smell. They then paired that objectionable smell with photographs of people of the opposite sex and asked you to rate your opinion of it. Were they attractive, unattractive, and so forth? What they found consistently was that this smell, which was processed subliminally, obviously, because you're totally unaware of it, did indeed influence your judgment about the photographs of other people. Now, if the photograph was paired with the objectionable smell, then you were likely to rate this person much lower than seeing the same photo not paired with that smell. So it isn't just eyes and ears. It's all of our senses are processing information continually, and some of that information is in the millions, and we're able, to really pay attention to maybe some 40 at a time.
Really? Wow. So, this obviously then can be, as you said here, be implemented to do good, so to speak, to help people. And I want to get into some of the positive sides to this later. But obviously, what arises here is, which you touch upon briefly with the subliminal ads in terms of McDonald's, the one frame thing, and all that. It can be used for nefarious purposes as well. In regards to your research, is this something that you've been looking into as well? Then that companies, ads, and I don't know how far you extend this, of course, but they have been using these techniques for a long time, haven't they? And have you found that they're successful at that, meaning that have they been keeping that up, so to speak?
Here's your bottom line. Billions and billions of dollars have been spent by business, big business, and big government around the world to learn how to tweak every aspect of the human condition, period, end of quotation. Does subliminal communication work? The answer to that is yes. Are there nefarious uses? The answer to that is unequivocally yes.